Welcome back to the Audacious Witch channel, where we talk about the magic behind the stock market. Today we are spilling some serious financial crisis tea. I've been investing for over 15 years, through crashes, bubbles, and everything in between. But what is happening right now? It's not just about numbers, it's about power and control.
Please.
Yes, dear.
Can I have your attention?
Absolutely.
We need to talk about Michael Burry, the big short investor. He's not just shorting the market for money. Michael Burry is already a rich individual, multi-millionaire status achieved. He wants to fight for freedom for the people. After reading his tweets, this is ideological. If you read between the lines of his tweets, he's using the metaphor of the one ring to rule them all. And who benefits from that ring?
This is the best use of your time.
Look closely. PLTR, named after the seeing stones used by wizards and the Dark Lord Sauron. And Nvidia, look at their logo. It is the all-seeing eye, the one-eye tower. Burry thinks this is the centralization of total control. But here is the kicker, and this is going to sound crazy coming from me.
Finding me was one of the best things that's ever happened to you.
This is exactly why Nvidia has been the best performer in the S&P 500 for a decade, because it benefits the elite. I mean BlackRock. And if you want to survive in this system, you can't play by the rules of the little guy. You have to own what the 1% own. Chapter 1, the psychology, greed, fear, and the Ponzi.
And I'm so proud of you.
We are living among humans, besties, and humans are driven by two things, greed and fear. That is how they control us. They use fear to steal your shares cheap, and greed to make you buy at the top. Listen to me closely. The dollar system, it's a debt-based Ponzi scheme. They print money. Inflation goes up. Your cash becomes trash.
I know it's hard out there.
They want you to panic sell when the market dips. They want your Nvidia shares. They want your freedom. We need to protect ourselves. We need to prepare for the downside and the upside. When they print that free stimulus money, and it is coming, you need to be holding assets. You need to own the one ring, Nvidia, and you need to own the tools of freedom, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right now, these prices are a gift, a literal gift. Chapter 2, the bull case, why Nvidia is the chosen one. Let's look at the math, because the math doesn't lie. People say Nvidia is a bubble. They said railways were a bubble in the 1800s. They said the internet was a fad, no better than a fax machine. Remember that? Nvidia isn't just a hype. Jensen Huang projected $500 billion in sales for just 2 generations of chips, and his CFO, Colette Kress, she says that's conservative.
There's any possibility of upside to those numbers as we move forward?
Yes, that's correct. We are working into our 500 billion forecast, and we are on track for that. The number will grow, and we will achieve, I'm sure, additional needs for compute that will be shippable by fiscal year 26. We'll be taking more orders. So there's definitely an opportunity for us to have more on top of the 500 billion that we announced. Yet we are still in the early innings. We currently have visibility to $500 billion in Blackwell and Rubin revenue from the start of this year through the end of calendar year 2026. NVIDIA will be the superior choice for the $3 to $4 trillion in annual AI infrastructure build we estimate by the end of the decade.
Nvidia is the only one actually getting paid in this AI war. Everyone else, Google, Microsoft, they are spending billions to build the infrastructure, and all that money is piling into Nvidia's bank account.
Kind of looking at this with a more positive attitude.
They have $80 billion in free cash flow. That is more than Amazon. That is more than Google. They are so rich, they are funding their own customers like OpenAI and CoreWeave. The law of large numbers hasn't caught them yet. I'm holding my Nvidia until it hits a $10 trillion valuation. Yes, you heard me. Do not let small losses scare you out of life-changing moves. Chapter 3, the macro threat, Japan, the stimulus, and the carry trade. Japanese carry trade, money flowing from yen to dollar, new Prime Minister Sanae Katachi. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the witch, from the east, Japan. On November 21st, 2025, Japan approved a massive $135 billion stimulus package. Why? Because their people are hurting from inflation. The headline Japanese inflation figure for October rose to 3%, staying above the Bank of Japan's 2% target for 43 straight months. But here is the problem. The Japanese government is printing currency out of thin air to hand out to the citizens.
It's an amazing thing.
This creates inflation worries. Look at the Japanese government bonds. The 20-year yield hit 2.8%, the highest since 1999. 30-year yields at record 3.5%. Why does this matter to you sitting in LA or London? Because of the carry trade. Estimates suggest the total yen-funded carry trade peaked at around $500 billion to $1.2 trillion or more, with only a portion, like only $200 billion, unwound so far.
Time for a little transparency. Now let's see what's really going on.
I'm so glad you're here.
For years, hedge funds borrowed money in Japan for free, 0% interest, and invested it in U.S. tech stocks. It was free money, but now Japan is raising rates. The yen is getting stronger. It's costing them money to hold those loans. They have to sell U.S. assets to pay back the Japanese loans.
I must be Mummy's good boy. I will never disobey. I am Mummy's good boy.
Unlike the U.S., Japan has run trade surpluses for decades, exporting goods and reinvesting abroad. This buffers against debt burdens. Japan's debt to GDP is over 250%, but rising yields could encourage repatriation into domestic assets, now offering better returns.
Feels so good to be my good boy.
This triggers selling pressure on U.S. Treasuries. If Japanese investors sell U.S. bonds to take money home, U.S. rates go up. That is bad risk for assets. It's a chain reaction. And with the Bank of Japan meeting on December 18th, there is a 50% chance of another rate hike.
Congratulations.
And I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
This could get messy before it gets better. Speaking of messy, Chapter 4, Geopolitics, the China-Taiwan-Japan Triangle. Taiwan, China, Japan, and TSMC factory. And it gets spicier. We have geopolitical drama. China is taking Japan to the UN, accusing them of threatening armed intervention over Taiwan. Prime Minister Sanae Katachi said Japan would support Taiwan. China is furious. Why did Nvidia and Tesla sell off recently? Because 95% of AI chips are made at TSMC in Taiwan. If that island gets blockaded, it's game over for the hardware. But listen to me, I don't think China will attack. This is posturing. The US is using Japan to test China's patience.
Are you gonna be a good boy and listen to me? Good.
This fear, it's manufactured. It's designed to make you sell. Do not fall for it. Nvidia will thrive beyond what anyone believes. We're really starting to see that large multinational corporations like Amazon are replacing their staff with Indian H-1B visas that are building artificial intelligence, and the largest source of unemployment and government was AI and warehousing. So that's building the robotic sector, which means that the deflationary forces,
I don't care about the liberal agenda anymore. It's boring.
the reduction in oil prices and energy prices, so AI will only lead to more US unemployment, which is why we see oil prices going lower, unemployment rate rise to 4.4%. So what we're seeing with all of this AI demand for oil, natural gas, and hydroelectricity and nuclear energy is not a substitute with renewable energy or solar, wind, or all these other types of energy. It's actually all energy as much as possible, so we want to keep holding our Tesla. Chapter 5, The Solution, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the Satoshi Secret. So how do we fight back? We own the technology of the elite, NVIDIA, but we store our wealth in the tools of freedom.
I hereby irrevocably appoint you Chairman and CEO of Stark Industries, effective immediately. Yeah, done deal.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are on sale. Bitcoin was a gift given to the world after the 2008 crisis, which was orchestrated by central banks.
That's a good boy.
By the way, Satoshi Nakamoto, did you know that name in Japanese can be interpreted to mean central intelligence? Whether that's a coincidence or a clue, the function remains. It's an antidote to the debt-based system. With the Fed likely to cut rates in December, more than 70% chance, and those 2,000 stimulus checks coming next year, liquidity is about to flood the market. Rate cuts are fuel for Ethereum. Stimulus is fuel for Bitcoin.
I am a good boy. I am Mummy's good boy. I'm so grateful for Mommy.
Boys, listen, many traders let small losses turn into disasters, or they take small profits and miss the life-changing moves. Don't be either of those. The volatility is the price of admission for the gains.
And you will never be able to escape me.
I'm adding to my positions. I'm holding my NVIDIA. I'm stacking Ethereum. The CapEx boom is real. The productivity is real. And the money printing is definitely real.
NVIDIA, Google, and Amazon almost all rely on a single company to make them all. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Fast forward through the CHIPS Act to today, and TSMC has a giant new chip fabrication plant in Arizona on TSMC 3nm, currently only possible in Taiwan. NVIDIA's Blackwell, however, is made with TSMC's 4nm node, which means
we are now manufacturing in full production Blackwell in Arizona.
It is my job to help you find the winners and hold on to them. I'm going to be covering more hidden gems right here on this channel. So smash that subscribe button.
You're absolutely perfect.
Hit the bell so you don't miss the next alert. Let's build this wealth together, and I'll see you on the moon. Bye, boys.